G'day and welcome back to the channel Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginger Ninja and these of course are my movie reviews. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. But you're probably wondering, what am I doing here? Well, it's Tuesday and Tuesday is Trashy Tuesday. So I look at the trashiest films that I can find and review them. Now, just because they're trashy doesn't mean they're bad. In most cases. Let's have a look at this one, shall we, and see what I think of it. Now, this is Hell of the Living Dead, also known as Zombie-Creeping-Flesh, also known as Virus. In Australia, I knew it as Zombie-Creeping-Flesh. It wasn't until much later that I saw it being released on Blu-ray through various companies like Arrow as Hell of the Living Dead. So I thought, oh wow, this is a new film. But it looked familiar, and I'm like checking it out and I'm like, oh yeah, I know what this is. But doesn't make it a bad thing. Anyway, before we get into the nitty gritty of this, I do want to thank all my new and existing subscribers. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening to me ramble on about these movies that, most of the time I do enjoy. But yeah, thank you. It does mean the world to me, so it's truly appreciated. Anyway, let's get to this. So, directed by Bruno Mattei, this film came out in 1980. It stars Margie Newton, Franco Garofalo, Selin Carey, Jose Gras, and many, many more. Now, the plot, it's actually quite a good plot, and I did enjoy that aspect of it. So, after an experiment gone wrong, a virus that turns people into zombies spreads throughout New Guinea. A female reporter and her cameraman and a team of 4 commandos sent to investigate try to survive the onslaught. What I liked about this plot to start with is that it actually explains the origin of the zombies, where they came from, how they spread. It's, something that wasn't touched upon in a lot of zombie movies back in the day. Nowadays, there is more of an explanation, like you've got your trioxin, you've got your rage virus, not a zombie, I know, but whatever. Things like that. So this was actually quite good. I enjoyed the fact that they did, let you know this is the cause of it. Now, look, there will be spoilers ahead, so, you've been warned. Then again, this movie came out in 1980, so you've had time to check it out. Look, it was, as I mentioned, directed by Bruno Mattei. It's an Italian and Spanish co-production, and it's a curious amalgamation of gore, zombies, and eco-horror themes that will leave you both simultaneously cringing and chuckling along with it. As I mentioned, it was released in 1980 during the peak of the zombie movie craze inspired by George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. And look, despite being criticised by its low budget and borrowing heavily from films like Dawn of the Dead and other zombie films, Hell of the Living Dead is a fun, gore-soaked ride. Okay, so as you can see behind me, Zombie-Creeping-Flesh. This is what I knew it as, and I probably will refer to it as Hell of the Living Dead or Zombie-Creeping-Flesh. Probably not Virus, because I never actually saw it listed as Virus. That's only what I got from IMDb. But anyway, I digress. Let's jump in and have a look at the cast, shall we? Now, as I said, this was a Italian-Spanish co-production, so maybe it's the terrible dubbing, or maybe not, but this film would not win any awards for that. Our lead actress, Margie Newton, spends most of her time when she's fully clothed, that is, staring wide-eyed at the horror going on and screaming loudly. Now, this just doesn't fit with her character as a journalist. It just didn't sit right. She's supposed to be this worldly, intrepid journalist who's been everywhere, seen everything, but the way she comes across in this doesn't really sit. The performances overall in Zombie-Creeping-Flesh are what you might expect from a low-budget film of this era. The actors deliver their lines with varying degrees of conviction. Others come across as stiff or melodramatic, and others manage to inject a sense of urgency and fear into their roles. The characters, however, are fairly one-dimensional and serve primarily as fodder for the zombie horde, rather than fully developed individuals. But let's be honest, that's kind of par for the course in the zombie genre, where the focus is more on survival rather than character development. But you know, perhaps the true star of this film is the zombies themselves. These are your slow, shuffling walkers we're dealing with, and they are downright relentless. So, onto the directing and the writing, and well, the dialogue in this is so hilariously bad, it's impossible not to laugh at it. Yeah, whether it's the wooden delivery of lines or the nonsensical exchanges between characters, the script seems to have been written by someone who only had a vague idea of how human beings interact. This is directly from it. So you've got two technicians, technician one, technician two.
She may not know much about chemistry, but in bed her reactions are terrific.
I'm not surprised with that cute little lass.
I'm a tit man myself.
That is word for word the lines from the movie. I shit you not. And look, like I said, maybe it's the dubbing, but maybe it's not. But it certainly adds an extra layer of hilarity to an already ludicrous experience. Now, that being said, Bruno Mattei effectively builds a sense of dread and unease through the use of tight framing, eerie music, and a lot of unsettling imagery, which is taken from real footage of, tribes in New Guinea, things like that. So he's spliced in those films, and it does work to that degree and creates a sense of realism. Now, the plot may be thin, the dialogue is certainly laughable, but the film does excel in creating a very palpable atmosphere of horror and desperation. And now on to the effects. So this is where the movie truly shines, with its unabashed commitment to over-the-top carnage. Seriously, this movie pulls no punches when it comes to blood and guts. From the creatively gruesome kills to zombie chowdown sessions, it's a buffet of B-movie brutality that never lets up. One of the defining features is its low-budget aesthetic. The film utilizes cheap special effects and makeup to depict the zombie hordes, resulting in some delightfully cheesy and over-the-top gore scenes. If you like blood and guts and you like that 80s feel, you will definitely get a kick out of this. Rewatchability. Look, this is a classic for me. And I grew up watching this on VHS, and I still remember the first time I saw that video cover, and I still remember the first time I hired it out, I still remember the first time I watched it. And I didn't care about the crappy writing or anything like that. I was watching it for the gore. And for that, this film still remains highly fun and definitely rewatchable. Now, as with many zombie films, Hell of the Living Dead uses the backdrop of a zombie apocalypse to explore themes of human nature, societal collapse, environmental destruction, which ring true in today's climate. And for fans of B-movies and Italian horror cinema, this is a must-see. Despite all its flaws and its low production values, cheesy dialogue, the gratuitous gore will undoubtedly turn off some viewers. But that's what will also draw people in. People that are invested in those effects, people that want to, just escape into a world of gruesomeness and fun and just cheesy, campy crappiness. Like I said, not all trash films are bad. This film exudes a certain charm and energy that's hard to resist. And if you're willing to overlook all those shortcomings that I mentioned and embrace the sensibilities of this film, this is sure to provide a entertaining and memorable viewing experience. Overall, for a score, I would give Zombie Creeping Flesh a 7 out of 10. There you have it. That is my review of Zombie Creeping Flesh, aka Hell of the Living Dead, aka Virus. So, have you seen this film? What did you think of it? Let me know down in the comments below. are you going to go check it out? It's, look, if you're into this kind of thing, you like horror, you like your zombies, you like your blood and guts, you like your Italian knockoff horror films, you're definitely going to get a kick out of this. I wouldn't put it up there with movies like Zombie 2 or things like that, but it's still definitely worth a look. So there you have it. Thank you very much for watching. Before I ramble on too much, please do hit the thumbs up button, be much appreciated. And if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel for future content and all that. Hit that notification bell so that way you're notified every time I do release a new video. But other than that, thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye.